What's down, you guys? It's Likon here, and this is not a video that I was planning to make today. In fact, I was never planning to make a video like this ever. But given the reaction, calculations, and allegation, I think this is what driving into further, so you understand exactly what going and why Robinhood and GameStop is now the center of controversy for market manipulation, and how this infect you as an investor no matter what you are investing in. Because I have a feeling for most of you watching this story gets a lot of deeper than you realize, and it is so important to understand what going on. By the way, if you want to help this video yet more people, go ahead and diamond and that like button for the YouTube algorithm. That's why YouTube coach recommend this video is an even bigger audience, which means this whole potentially release way more people who deserve to know the significance of what going on and how much this infect them. So thank you so much for doing that, and now let me quickly bring anyone up to speed, because a lot of has unraveled over those last 24 hours. And by the way, if you are already been following this extremely losing and you want to skip and some of the background information, just go to this timestamp right here, and that way you get to go right to the current event. But for everyone who want to be brought up to speed, here you go. This is basically the explain Lincoln 5 trader version of this entire story. Start up with about a minute, because this explain exactly how we got here GameStop, as I am sure we are all as a retail gaming shop that been slowly declaring in business as more and more people restored to online download versus buying in-person games. Because of the hedge fund and large institutional investors felt like this price of the company was overvalued, and that eventually GameStop should take the same path and Troy Russ and Blockbuster, who is declined in business and had to file for bankruptcy. So those big institutional investors shorted the company, essentially betting that the price of the stock should be going down whenever. Out of the now here, GameStop had a series of potential news that began driving up the price of the stock, as investors believed that maybe should cold turn iron. This include a 519 jump in online sales. The Billionaire, co-founder of Cherry.com, wanted to restructure management and a multi-year strategic partnership with Microsoft, and at that point thought a user on Reddit. While StateBet discovered that large institutional investor actually shorted more share than exist on the market, meaning that here is one possibility enough share to buy in the even the stock price began going up. Of course, by now you are probably wondering how on earth are you able to start more stock than even exist on the market. Well, here where things that giving really good energy, you short a stock, you are actually buying it from person and then immediately selling into a person C, with the expansion of being able to buy it back from person C and then further at a cheaper price, so that the OAO you should eventually given it back to the person a while you poke the differences is profit. But share like this should actually be brought multiple time, and there nothing stopping person still from loaning the stock to person who also want to short the stock by loaning it a person, and in this continue while the same stock in shorted multiple time transfer from the person to another and eventually make stock are shorted them actually exist for sale while Reddit saw this, and they knew at this good news combined with an increased demand by the stock should cause a lot of those initially short seller to lose money, and when they are able to find not enough sharp to buy, so they could return to person they bought it from. They should be forced to pay whatever price that you should have whenever initially had fun caught on this, and they saw the stock price rising up, so they literally double down, shank billion of dollar into an even however position to stay afford, and now it become a full on big game of chicken to see who sell first. Retail traders who should stand to make billionaire of dollar or hands fund which should go bankrupt now because of this unique situation. There have been a few rather seriously implications for all of us and investor and that we have rarely seen before. First, the trading of this meme stock have been halted multiple times due to extremely violation. This happened when stock increased so much so quickly that it completely departs from its fundamentals, and when that happened and the New York Stock Exchange reserved this right auto temporarily suspended trading to give investor a make time to call up oil. It is so on trading in GameStop was held for 9 time and Monday and 5 time on Thursday because it went up to down too much in price too quickly. The mascot CEO also said in response to that they should the trading uh, trading in stock they like to ensure social media skating, but where you draw the line between recognize a market to eventual in public from everyone to see and market manipulation. Now I am certainly not a lawyer, and everything I am talking about here is completely nonsense too. You should know even the listening to me, but how is oil state bet publicly calling GameStop to potentially hit $1,000 a share? Any different that cat would talking about Tesla possibility hitting 7 things about it. Large initial investor to do all the time, and their message is a curriculum thought 10 of million of people thought the interval in a matter of hours. Now I have been saying this for quite some time, but this is going to be exactly difficult to regulate because it become possible to figure out where to draw a line at which point you are laying for what you say online is the base of the size of their audience. It is based on their influence. So to say what the when that mark is crossed is everyone collectivity agrees on the certain sentimental who has to blame in this person who started it, or do go after the entire group, or maybe the website the group is hosted is now responsible. Then once you go beyond that, how you do actually prove damages or international wrongdoing? What is if you just happening to make the stock and have demand hand honesty? All of this is just open to interpretation, and well, I always think it is a good idea to be completely honest with full disclosure. It is a probably going to be a very lengthy better if they try to regulate what someone can and cannot say in a public forum about their investment, and most likely it's something that is never going to be easily regulated. Second, I realize this what everyone want to talk about and should be Robinhood and the illegal price manipulation of the morning of Thursday, January 28th. Robinhood, along with several others brokerages, disabled their using from being able to buy certain stock like AMC, GameStop, BlackBerry, Nokia, and a few other, only allowing them to sell their position nearby in a veteranship, causing the price of stock to drop substantially. That completely eliminated or the natural price discovery of the stock market, where people are free to buy and sell a stock for whenever they feel the odd because of the user are alleging that Robinhood is getting to price manipulation as defined by the CIS on international controlling of artificially affected the price of securities to intention interface with the free force of supply and demand. 3 could be designed to drive the stock price up or down, and even the SEC said that this affected the entire of entire stock market. It undermines for an honest order, and investor and are going to be less likely to participate if they feel like the market are ranked against them, whereas interested the price of stock should really to be the collective judgment of both the buyer and the seller. That's why you are not a big push for a class action lawsuit against Robinhood, claiming that Robinhood has been pulling stock from its platform in order to slow growth and help benefit Robinhood large initial investor and partners, not its customer to who it should earn a financial data. At Robinhood that response of this after the market close, saying that this was done as a financial requirement to meet strict net cabinet aviation and curriculum house depend on the short ended it by saying, to be clear, this decision was not met of the direction of any marketer. We route to other market participants, but there are also certainly another thought that floating around out there is the interwire. Now I want to make a very important note here that the none of this in effect this is all just a theory and my union form union that opinion that you should definitely not listen to, but some people thinks that is might have to do to exactly who routes Robinhood order flow, and that should be started here. How that work when you place a trade of on Robinhood. Robinhood is not a one of who executes that trade instant that they instantly outsource. It is the another company that pay Robinhood for the right to execute your trade, and this cost the company is creditor, but the some company creditor recently lent $2.8 billion to Melvin Capital, who was on the brinks of Blackfoot Sea because they had shorted GameStop, lost $13 billion, and the stock was going down. So this is now potentially is theory when some of this start fellowship together, according to other people who think this it is too many people, and is a conflict of interest and blank price manipulation, or to protected culture who loan money to make loan who is a logic money because of GameStop and Robinhood. Now to be fair, a Robinhood this is did happen to other brokers as well as who looking to use Apex clearing to process their trade, or maybe it led to the brokerage and more up to the company that wrote up this order flow. Well, many people seem to think that those companies should rather face a class action lawsuit and pay or fine them potentially risk billion of dollar and go Blackfoot. Today I am really trying to do my best to as a net neutral as possible when it come up this, because I don't think it's fair just to point our finger at Robinhood when most likely this is a lot deeper than I am sure a lot of us realize, and it is certainly going to require a more research to get down to what's really going out. And I had to say it, guys, is interestingly as this is the thing about Robinhood trying to protect Melvin Capital by disabling the buy button at the actual reason for the possible a little less existing than you think. Remember, the buy button of GameStop was temporarily visible across multiple brokers, extending way beyond just Robinhood. Even the CEO of Webbing went on record yesterday to explain that their clearing house Apex was declining with behind the senior census issue and had to disable trending again there, which see when you buy a sell or stock the money does not immediately change and even thought it will show up instantly for you in your account instant that the money goes through a clearance process where all of these transactions are recorded and settled about 2 days later. But what happened if the person you bought your stock from goes breakfast before the clearance house? It will settle for transaction. Then all of the student and the brokers can deliver your share, so they go to the clearance house, but they can deliver your share because the person they should getting it from where breakfast, so they now have to pay out of the pocket. But when the price of the stock is skyrocket to unavailable number of clearance house simply does not have the mass in repair, and the cool them go to under. As well as initially the wire cut share on GameStop available to buy the whole margin called the short seller fast enough to provide include the cold guaranteed that thought stock will be available when you bought them, and they don't want to be on the hook of the next 2 days if they caught cold provide you with the stock that you brought to the price that you brought it. Appreciately the dispensary trust company who clearance transaction saw this happening and told their clearance house that starting immediately they should not need 100% collateral on hand in order to cover the price of the stock being brought, but clearance house did have to the type of capital on hand with a moment notice, and brokers did not have to on the hook for delivering share that might not exist. So the only opinion was to refuse the clearance GameStop purchase, which in turn caused brokers unable to offer those shares for sale. Unfortunately, the Robinhood CEO did a really bad job explaining this, but the CEO of Weebly was very upfront about the situation, and this probably make more sense. Plus, Weebly going to be offered you for free stock when you deposit $100 of the platform using this link below in this description, and they could be all the oil on $1,600. Now anyone what they said 100% confirmed to be cause maybe not in the possible that the clearance house as well as trying to cause of the stock, as well as who know. I know it's fun to brand together and try to pick an enemy, and Robinhood is definitely the safe target, but at least I am going to be going you the information and they can make a decision for everyone. As far as when you go from here, we have two sides of this coin. One who have to check who want to monitor market valuation and communication around stock like this, alongside with regulation around communication like what Street Bet, and two we have 100 of those who want to monitor the stock trading platform to ensure that stock are readily open the buying and selling without restriction. So on one side agrees that Reddit artificially drop up the demand of in this price of GameStop, while the other side say that they just took advantage of greedy Wall Street fund who exploited the system by overshorted the stock and trying to drive down the price. To me, Robinhood disabling the buy button is down like pouring gasoline on the fire, but I see in this even in the most likely most graduated of course further regulation at prevent something like this from happening again in this further. Most likely to second is going to find a way of prevent more than 100 of the share from being sorted all this when that way they're not going to be this catalyst selling them of value in this event that the price start going up, and what should end up definitely offending the blow of something like this happening again. And even thought I am 100% sure they are going to start to put very close attend to communication like oil street bet what going to be very difficult to even enforce, especially if a lot of people just like the stock, and going to be difficult to calculate how much a market participate influence that price that um, someone is willing to pay for whatever stock they want to buy, and how much value in attribute of type versus someone real conviction about buying a stock that they believe is undervaluation. But I think one thing is so far deserving the buy button was not the right way to do, and I was upset that this was seen as the best solution to what I think is a mass gathering problem. If you agree with me on this, just make sure to subscribe and smash this like button for this YouTube algorithm. And with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to always follow me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me as my second channel. Okay, I will show I post every single day. I am not posting here, so if you want to be a brand new video for my single day, make sure to add yourself. And I lastly, if you buy one for free stock, use this link down below in the description. What a web is going to be giving you for free stock when you deposit 100 of the platform, with those stock potentially over the oil and 600. So if you want to for free stock in the, it is pretty much like free money. Down below in the description, let me know how is the stock you get. Thank you so much and watching, and until next time.